everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Death Machine Speed Shop, which is now / Utah Vintage Cars at this point. We got something cool going on today. So we got a little backstory. So you guys have seen kind of in the background of some of my videos whenever I'm down at Hannah and Colton's house. There is a white 1960 convertible Thunderbird, and that car, Hannah, was given to her by her grandpa, and her grandpa also, when she was a kid, had a 1974 3 or 4 Mercedes 450 SL. Well, Hannah's now acquired said Mercedes, and if you looked at the Thunderbird, you would think, you know, this Mercedes is probably pretty nice, and that's where you're wrong. You're right, but wrong, because this Mercedes used to be really nice. Like, it used to be very, very nice, but in 2019, when the car was given away to a family member, it declined a lot. So Hannah made a deal, and I am on my way to go get said car. And when you see said car, you'll be like, wow, that thing's pretty bad. And you're right, it is. So yeah. So I gotta go. I got the trailer hooked up. I've gotta go get the new wheels and tires that Hannah got done for this car. She didn't want white walls. I'm like, that's surprising for this. But she didn't want white walls. She wanted the classy 70s, rich money, old money, rich look. So black walls, I guess. So, so that's the plan, is to go pick up those tires, go get the key for it, and then go, go pick up the car. We got Ralph coming with us. He's coming down with his truck and trailer, because he's also picking up a car. So there's a lot of freaking tires on the road right now. A lot of semi blew a tire. Speaking of that, yesterday, so a little, you know, fourth wall thing. I was down working on Tammy. You have already seen that video. I was working on Tammy, and a tire exploded on a semi right next to me, and the tire hit the side of my truck. So that was fun. So where was I going with this? Okay, so we gotta go pick up that stuff and then go down there and meet with Ralph, because we're gonna use the winch that's on the front of his pickup to pull the Mercedes onto the trailer. So that's the plan there. And then yeah, so that's the plan there, is to do that. I just remembered I forgot to get a battery. Fuck. Hopefully we don't need it. So maybe I can take one out of Tammy. I don't know, we'll see. So we gotta go get that car, take it back to the house. We won't unload it off the trailer yet, because I want to see if I can get it running first, so I could drive it off the trailer and then go from there, because we need to, it needs some love. So, and I'm just hoping, because it needs a fuel pump, it needs the tank to be cleaned out, and yeah, but I'm gonna run a borescope down the tank to see what it all needs and go from there. So, because if the tank doesn't need to be pulled out, I'm not gonna pull it out, because from what I've seen, the fuel pump is mounted on the frame rail. So like And if for your American car people, it's like the Corvette style, where it's mounted on the frame rail. So, I guess depending on what Corvette you're talking about, but I call it the Corvette style. So, mounted on the frame rail. So, should be easy to replace the fuel pump on that. When you turn the key, fuel pump don't do anything. And also, it could be a fuel pump relay also. So we'll check that out and see what's going on with that. So someone commented on one of my videos recently of how many times I said so, and yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We'll get everything done on the car, and then I'll keep you posted once we get down there and get the tires swapped over and everything. So there he goes again. Yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on everything. So this car means a lot to Hannah, so that's why we're doing this. Yeah, I'll keep you posted. All right, so we're here. We got the tires there, and this is the Mercedes. So this was Hannah's grandpa's, as you can tell. It's crazy what 7 years does to a car. Because according to Hannah, this thing was perfect. And it's got some, I mean, the paint's not that bad, honestly. It's just that door is the worst part, honestly. Because it's got, you know, door's the worst part. So this is it. So I'm just waiting for Ralph to get here, and then we should be good to go. I think he should be just in Ogden or just south of Ogden. We're down in Sandy, so this thing shouldn't be too bad to get out of here. Just need to get the wheel swapped over, and then it should be good to go. So shouldn't be too bad. Just a lot of jacking up and putting tires on, and then a lot of winching. So maybe we can even just push the car up here and then just, I don't know, we'll see. So I'll let you know when I get some wheels and tires on it. All right, new tires on the Mercedes. Ralph's backing up his truck, maybe thinking that we might need the winch, but I'm not sure. I'm sure once we get it to the trailer, we will. But we just got to get this thing lined up with the trailer and go from there. So this thing's a little too expensive to be taking off the trailer, off the side of the trailer. So we'll see. I'll let you know when we get it on. All right, we're back on the Mercedes. We got it up at the house. So now you can kind of see more of it. Sorry for the wind. It's a bit windy today. So we did get a battery. So we do have a battery now. So as you will see right now, how this thing, it turns over. We just need her to start. See, it turns over, just needs to start. So now what we got to do is we got to probe the antenna. Well, not the antenna. I was just looking at the antenna. That's why I said that. Shut this. So we got to probe the fuel pump to see if we have. That's a shame. Let me see if I turn the key on. Wait a minute. Well, that's new. Looks like this car wants to run. we got a. This is hilarious. This is hilarious. I need to send this to Hannah. All right, as you can see, I got a mess here. It's because I touched the fuel pump. I think it is bad. As you can see in here, so is the tank. So, that being said, tank is on the process of being removed. You take out that back panel which covers the tank. There's 4 bolts that hold the tank in. Then you pretty much just, from what I've seen, a lot of people pull the rear seat out. Well, the problem is there is no rear seat in this car, and it's actually a body panel. So the only way this tank can go out is out the trunk. So yeah, there's a lot of shit that's about to happen. A lot of shit that that you guys probably shouldn't see. So I'm gonna try to get this thing out, and we'll go from there. So yeah. All right. So after watching many videos, I learned a couple things. I learned that when it comes to this car, there is the main fuel line that goes down to the fuel pump. Then there's a return line that's on the driver's side of the tank. And pretty much, long story short, I need to jack up the car, get underneath of it, and undo those 2 fuel lines. One of them looks like it's just a clamp. The other one is a 19 millimeter full-blown like line. So not too excited for that. So yeah, so we'll see how that goes. I'm going to figure that out, and then once the tank's off, I may have to pull the top off to get underneath, but I'm hoping that's not the case. So yeah, because I do not want to take that top off, honestly. So hooray. All right, little update. I let in the tank drain a little bit so we can get all the lines off. But looking at the fuel that's coming out of this, it's not that bad, honestly. I mean, it's yellow, but it's not terrible. And like I said, the last time this car was driven was 2019. So it hasn't been that long. So I'm thinking, if anything, just the neck is bad. Because if you look in here, it's pretty bad. But I don't think it goes all the way through. Hey. Yeah, I don't think it goes all the way in the tank, honestly. So maybe just a good vacuum out of the neck and good clean, and it should be good to go, maybe. But still gonna pull this tank out just to be sure, because I do not want to risk anything. So it's gonna be kind of a pain, because I need a 19 millimeter wrench to go around the line that's on this side, and then that other line I'm cutting because it's a rubber line and we're just going to replace it anyways. So, and then because we need to replace that rubber line right there as well because it's cracked and broken. But so yeah, pretty much all the rubber needs to be replaced. And since we're pulling the fuel pumps off, might I add, those are the fuel pumps. Well, the fuel pump, it's the cylinder down the bottom. The other 2 are filters and returns. So, because the rubber lines are return lines, then the braided lines are pressure lines. So, yeah. So we're getting there, slowly but surely. We're getting there. So it's let's see, 11, 12, 1, 2. Yeah, so it's hour 4 of trying to get this tank out, and it's a nightmare. So yeah, I already filled up that jug full of varnished gas. And I'm trying to figure out what to do with said varnished gas because I can't run it in any of my stuff because I don't want to screw up the motors on those. And I just don't know what to do. So, yeah. Maybe I'll go see if Brian wants it for a parts cleaner. But, yeah. So, this thing is something. It is for sure. It is something. So, the goal is to get the tank off before tank out before Ashley gets home. Because what I need to do is I need to back the trailer up and then park it there, and then go from there. So it's a good time. It's a good time. That is for sure. So love it. All right, ladies and gents, a battle has been won. I didn't have to take the top off, thank God. Once I got the fuel lines off, mainly the big one, because this was the one I was fighting the whole time. Once I got that off, we were good to go. As you can see, that one's cut. That's the return. That's an easy one to fix. It's mainly this one that was the pain, as you can see with how big it is. So, good news is the tank is in really good shape. So, that's a plus. Looked inside of it, and it's actually in really good shape. So, we are saved there. So, thank God with that. Problem is the sending unit is not in that great shape. So, they're ordering a new sending unit. So, that's fun. It's a fun time. So, ugh. That was not fun at all. It was gross, but it's fine. But now I guess I just got to get the freaking fuel pumps off now. So that's the hard part, because everything is freaking locked on. So screwing this back in for now. The funny thing about this, let me pull this back out. Funny thing is you can see where the tank level was. So that's funny. So luckily it was only at half. But honestly, it looked worse. The fuel didn't look terrible, but it weirdly, looked worse than what the tank does. So that's good. But we're slowly getting there. That was just absolutely atrocious. So, hooray. So, only downside is now I need to get the car off the trailer. But I'm just happy I can get to everything without having to, and get to the tank without having to get underneath of it. So that's a big plus, minus the fuel lines. But yeah, it should go back together pretty well, especially once we get the fuel pumps. So, and then I just need to get the fuel pumps undone. So I need to see what size they are, because there's only one line that I need to get off, and it's that bottom line there. But let's see, what size is that? Like a 16? Like, hold on, one second. All right, so the size I need is a 17. So, oh fuck. So I have a shit ton of orange gas that I don't know what to do with, too. So that's fun. But because this one's about halfway full, and that one's fully full. So Have to figure out what to do with those. But yeah, so once I get an update for you, I'll give you an update. So yeah, because I really can't do anything until we get a fuel pump and stuff here. So yeah. All right, everyone, we're back. As you see, that's the Mercedes. Well, this is the crew cab. And one second. Okay, everyone, we are back. Not necessarily working on the Mercedes, but look what finally came home. The old crew cab. Came back from getting carpet in it, and it's a little dirty right now, but it looks spectacular. It also got headliner, and it got cardboard on the back of the seat, and so it all looks good. I like it. But we finally got the carb for it as well. So I threw it on, got it running. Sediment came up and got into the fuel bowl. That was not fun. Cleaned it out. And then we started having fuel leaking into the boosters. And I think that's mostly because of fuel level going into the boosters and fuel pressure getting into the boosters. So I took the old needle and seat out, and as you can see, the gasket, I don't know if you can, but the gasket is ripped. That O-ring is ripped. So that means we have to replace the needle and seat. So I took the needle and seat out of one of my carbs that was on this truck. That was a good running carb. And I took the needle and seat out of it, and we're going to put it in here and see how it'll run and go from there. So, because if it works, great, then I'll go get a new one. Because I need a new one for my carb, because I kind of need it to work. So, if it works, great. If not, then the only other thing it could be is the air inlets. So you can see it on the back. There's these screws right here, and if those are clogged, then those will not. We'll do the same thing as well. So, and then this just sits in here like so. And we just have to twist it in, and then we'll adjust it once we get everything on. So, yeah. All right. So I think we have our problem fixed. So, issue was the needle and seat. And then I also ran some carb cleaner down those gold jets right there. Well, they're not even jets, they're just air holes. And that didn't really do anything. So, was definitely the needle and seat for that one. So, glad we fixed that and we adjusted everything, and it runs pretty good now. I mean, I'll just show you. So. Oh yeah. She's good. She's dialed. Absolutely dialed. She definitely does not like to go fast. I bet the engine's torquey. It's just this truck is very heavy, so I'm sure it didn't like just sitting. So yeah, it's a fun time. But hey, pretty much dialed at this point. We just need to throw the interior trim on, and then adjust the linkage, and then we should be good to go with this truck. So thank God. So we're getting there. How we doing, everybody? We're back working on the Mercedes. The lovely 1974 Mercedes, as you guys seen. Because in this video we're hopping back and forth between the Mercedes and the crew cab. And well, Mercedes time, baby. So we got a new sending unit. I already stuck it in, and I got the tank in. So I'll show you what we got. All right, so what we got to do is I got all the bolts in. I just need to tighten them down, and then I got to put all the hoses up here on, and then we got to go underneath, which I'm not excited for, genuinely, because we did get the new fuel pump. We did get that. Hannah and Colton brought it up, and that just locked. Hooray! But did get the fuel pump sitting in that box right there, and so we got to get that underneath the car and on, which should be easy. So I just need to undo. Well, actually, I don't think I need to do I don't think I need to undo those fuel lines, because I think the fuel pump has already been undone. So need to pull the fuel pump out, put the new one in, replace the 2 rubber lines. The one that runs from there's a little like filter or return line thing underneath the car that runs to the top filter. Need to replace that one. Then I need to replace the one that was going from this side of the tank to the return line, the return hard line. So I just need to replace those 2 lines. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And then after that, I get to throw gas in this thing, and we'll see if she ignites. So, but waiting for a payment right now. So hopefully we can get this thing going today, so I can go get some gas for this thing, and then we'll be ready to rip. So, because this thing only can use 91, so since it's a Mercedes. So maybe before then we'll get some starting fluid and see if it'll ignite off of that. So if this thing runs, that's a big deal. So then we just need to get the wheels swapped over, and then yeah, so should be good to go, honestly. And then just do an oil change and check the trans fluid, do the brakes, but mostly once it runs and I can get it put in the driveway, because good thing is I'll have room, because my blue truck over there that I bought from Hannah and Colton, that truck will be going on the trailer, so we'll have room to put this in the driveway. So, and hopefully this thing leaves soon, but not too sad that it hasn't yet. So, well, it did, then it came back because carpet. But so that's the plan there. So I'm going to tighten this tank down and see what it needs in the fuel line department and go from there. So we'll see in a bit. All right, so we got hoses. Let me just explain to you how bullshit this is. Okay, so you can only buy hoses in bulk no less than a foot. So let me show you. This is 5/8 hose. This goes between the fuel pump and the junction. Well, we need about this much. So there's the rest. Okay? And this 5/16 hose, we need about from the end to about here. Okay? Then there's quarter. And we need to cut off about here so we can get the rest of this on. Because this is return, and this is also return. Yay. So, need to get everything put back on and do all that stuff. And then I'll go run and get gas, and then we'll see how it wants to run after that. So, yeah. All right, full fuel system is in fact put back together. Now we sit and pray that this works. So, oh, pray to God this works. Really, really, really hoping this works. So, yeah, I think it will. I think I heard the pump fire, but we'll see. So, this ain't like Crown Vic where you hear the pump. So, we'll see what happens. All right, good news, bad news. Good news, we have fuel getting to the top of the car. By the top, I mean the injection system. Bad news is, I think the injectors are clogged or not working. So I need to dig into that, see what that all entails. So, hooray. Good morning, everybody. We are back on the old Mercedes here. We are a couple days later. Had some conversations with Hannah and Colton about all this, and we have determined that our issue, because we have fuel going to the injectors and everything, and one of two issues. One, injectors are clogged, which I think is an issue, and two, we don't have enough fuel pressure. So if you remember, we did replace the filters, we just replaced the pump, and that can lead to not having correct fuel pressure. And from what I hear, fuel pressure is a very, very, very tedious thing when it comes to these cars and these engines. So I'm going to pull the injectors back out for a 6th time and put them in. We got an ultrasonic cleaner that is minusculely small, and we are going to try and see if that works. So we could probably only do like 4 injectors at a time because it's so small, but that's the plan, is to get all these injectors out and try doing this one more time. So yeah. All right, everyone, so I got Purple Power here. We got the injectors and the hold downs. Decided to clean those up too in the little mini ultrasonic cleaner. And what we're going to do is we're going to dilute it about 50-50. So I'll pour, degreaser to about this line, and then the rest with water, and go from there. So, and then the instructions say about 30 minutes. So we're going to do that for about 30 minutes. Then go from there, see how they turn out. So we'll see how they roll. I'll let you know when we have an update in about 30 minutes. All right, while those injectors are soaking, I'm going to be doing the door trim on the crew cab here. And so, as you can see, we got door seals on each side that need to be bolted in, and then the back crew part needs that and that bolted on. I'm just happy that we have all of it, honestly. And I'm probably going to pull the seat cover off too, because it's trash. So we can have actual clean seats in this thing. But that is the plan, is to tear that off, but is to bolt everything down while we are waiting for the injectors. Then I also need to wire up the choke on the engine. So that's gonna be done. Probably grease those up too, because those are bad. You wire up the choke, make sure that's going to work in our favor. So that's the big issue about how this thing runs, is the choke. So yeah. And look how nice that fuel looks now that it's not absolute shit. But I don't know if you guys did see how bad that fuel was, but it was bad. But this truck does run just really well. So that's what we mainly need to do, is get that choke wired up, and we'll be ready to rock. So yeah. All right, choke is wired up. I decided to do that before the floor pieces, so I need to go get screws for all that. So now that this is done, I'm gonna go over, grab those screws for the floor, and then we will be right back. So this thing sure does run nice, I'll say that right now. All right, kind of bouncing back and forth. I haven't gone to get the screws for the crew cab yet. I walked in the house and these were done. So wanted you to see how these looked. And they look so much nicer. No more varnish and grime down the bottom. I think these should work now. So I'm gonna go run, grab the stuff for this, yank those ones out, and then as those ones are getting cleaned, I'll put these ones back in, do that. And so a lot of bouncing back and forth we got to do today. So I'm hoping we can get this thing started today, hopefully, and we don't just keep gumming these things up. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys posted on, and I'll also yank these so you can see like a before and after on how they look. So, but yeah, that ultrasonic cleaner works wonders. So yeah, we got to do a comparison, but the other injectors this side are out and they're currently getting cleaned. So I'm gonna bolt these ones back in, get the fuel lines pulled back on them, and then go from there. I also took this little fitting out. It has a little filter on it. I'm gonna get it cleaned and make sure it's good to go, and then we should be good to go there. So that's the plan. So yeah. This thing's gonna be, hopefully this works. If not, I'm probably saying it's the fuel filters, and if this is gonna be as pain in the ass as it is. So yeah. All right, so I pulled the fuel distributor off, and this thing is heavy. Like, it is ridiculously heavy. Like, I wish I had some torque screws so I could undo all this. There goes one of the screws. But I wish I had some torque bits so I could undo and pull that thing apart, because it needs a rebuild very badly, probably. Yeah, that's off. Cleaned injectors are in. Battery's overcharging because it was plugged in and it is now dead. So that's charging. Old injectors, well, other injectors are about done. They'll be done in about 10-ish minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. So I need to finish bolting down these injectors, and then these injectors will be on, and then we can put everything back together, see if she'll start. So praying for the Lord above that we can make that work. So yes, so we're probably a couple hours away from hearing this thing run, hopefully. So we'll see what happens. I will let you guys know. All right, door sill plates are in. And that pretty much means that this truck, we can pretty much call it done. So I am gonna cut that freaking seat cover off because that's hideous. But yeah, and I am gonna wash this thing up, make it look pretty, clean out the interior, throw some tire shine on it, and make this thing look pretty. So that's pretty much my plan. So yeah. But yeah, this thing's looking pretty, and unfortunately it's going up for sale. So if any of you are looking for a bitchy crew cab, that would be a project for auto body work and stuff, let us know. Hit up Utah Vintage Cars Instagram page, Bitch and Bump Sides Instagram page, my Instagram page, Death Machine Speed Shop, and we'll get you taken care of. That is for sure. So yeah, I'll get back to you guys once this is all cleaned up and looking pretty, and then back when that Mercedes is looking shitty. So fuel distributor is in the cleaner right now. It barely fits, but we'll see how this goes. There's someone's driving slow past the house now. All right, everything is back together. Got the fuel distributor out of the tank, and lines back on, injectors back in, everything's tight. Should be good to go. Waiting for the battery to charge a little bit more, so we might be getting to that later, but should have everything now, and hoping that this is what fixes it, or at least we can get it running enough to get it put back in the driveway. So that would be ideal. So I'm hoping that can be the case. So yeah, it's a fun time. So I'll let you guys know when we have an update. But we'll also be cleaning this up, getting it ready to go home tomorrow. So yippers. Well, she's all loaded up. She's cleaned out. She is ready to go. Look how nice that carpet looks. Much better now that it's clean. This thing's ready to rock. Locked, cocked, and ready to rock. So, yeah. Now we just gotta get her. Gotta get her up there now. But just wait till you guys see what we have coming down after this. I'm pretty excited. It's another truck that hasn't been on the channel yet, and it's got kind of a funny story on my end about it. So I'm excited. I'm excited to show you guys. So yeah, then because the Mercedes, haven't tried to start it yet. Haven't really wanted to, but we'll get on that tomorrow. So yes, sir. All right, we're back on the Mercedes. We got the filter and the accumulator here now. So now, honestly, just gotta throw the bastards in there and go from there. So that's really all I can say about that. And I will let you guys know when everything's in, and then we can see if this thing will start. All right, so our issue lies somewhere, because you press this down and you hear squealing and everything, and it's not too happy. Doesn't sound happy, at least in my opinion. But when you go to start it, it'll stumble and it'll be pissed. Okay, here's the fucked up thing, okay? I'm gonna hook up my power probe to the battery, okay? Power probe is hooked up. I go touch this, the positive side with power probe, pump turns on, okay? I hook a jumper wire to the battery, same thing, hook it up, and it tries to turn the car over. Make that make sense. All right, little Mercedes update. Don't know what the hell's going on. And I'm to the breaking point on this where I'm just like, you know what? How about no? So that's where I'm at with this. Hannah says I should clean out the injector lines, and I think we have good pressure going through them, but I'll clean them out just to say that I did, to check that off the list. I'll probably show that, but yeah. So that's an update we have right now, and I'll let you know when I have another one. Oh, also, we found out that the fuel pump doesn't turn on with the key, so there is an electrical issue when it comes to that, and it's not the relay, because the relay does click. So somewhere between there and there's an issue. So gotta figure that one out. And yeah, so, and for some reason, if you try to jump the fuel pump, the car turns over. Anyways, before I had a coughing fit. So that's fun. I think that's supposed to be like that, but I'm not sure. But yeah, that's where we're at. I'll probably show me pulling the lines off and getting all that done. I'll probably do that now, actually, just so I can get them all off, and then we'll go from there. So, yep. All right, everyone. This is where we're gonna end the Mercedes video. Okay, so we did everything. I was gonna show you the lines, but that ended up not happening because I honestly got them done too quick. But yeah, the Mercedes. So it's a Mercedes. So, but so yeah, that's that. I think that's where I'm gonna leave you off, because what the plan for it is now is tomorrow I'm going to take it up to Hannah Colton's cabin, and Hannah's uncle's going to deal with it, rewire a bunch of stuff, replace a few things. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Nothing too bad. So that's where I'm going to leave you off there. Hopefully you guys liked the video of me struggling with this car and a little bit of the finishing of the crew cab. So, remember to like and subscribe.